Hi everyone, and welcome to our new course called JavaScript. And in this core lesson, we will just have a short introduction into JavaScript and the theory of JavaScript. What is JavaScript, the uses for it, and how JavaScript works in the browser, right? So the first thing that we're going to find out, why do we want to learn JavaScript? It's not enough to only know HTML and CSS for a modern web developer, as you will be required to add some functionality and features in the website that you cannot only do with HTML and CSS. Right? But the main purpose for me preparing this course for you is to prepare you for the upcoming courses that we're going to have in React and Vue.js. Both are frameworks of JavaScript. But the thing is, with React, it's more a library according to their definition, but we're going to treat it as a framework. Okay. The next thing is to be a full front-end developer. If you want to be able to classify yourself as a front-end developer, you have to know JavaScript. Unfortunately and fortunately, it is a good thing to know JavaScript. You can also use it for the backend in the form of Node.js. So in the backend, we normally use PHP, Python, and all the other languages, Ruby. And in the modern day, we also have Node.js to actually code vanilla JavaScript in the backend. All right. Next thing. Right, so the next question we're going to ask ourselves, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language that is used for web applications, allowing you to implement complex features on the web pages. It is a third layer to your web pages, which consists of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It adds that third layer. I just said language wrong there, but language. All right, so the next thing that we can do, find out the uses of JavaScript. What do we use JavaScript for? All right, a common use for JavaScript, let's just go down there. A common use for JavaScript is to dynamically modify HTML and CSS to update the user interface via the DOM. Now, the DOM stands for Document Object Model. Which we're going to discuss in the later episodes, the DOM. All right, so the uses of JavaScript. What I would also recommend for you guys, if you guys have a pen and paper lying around or notepad, kind of make notes, because you will come back to it and just kind of refresh your memory on these kind of topics. So that's why I'm kind of do it in a theory way, so where we get the theory out in the beginning, and later on we will add some more theory on certain things. But as we go in the course, just kind of make a note and then just pause the video and type it in, or somewhere, wherever you want, however you want to do it. It's just later on, in the beginning, it's quite a lot to take in, but if you take notes, write it down, you can come back to it later. It's very useful. All right, let's continue. The next question we ask ourselves is, how is JavaScript code run? When JavaScript code is run in the browser, it generally runs it in order from top to bottom. Now let's quickly go to VS Code to show you an example. Now, as you can see, I'm in VS Code right now, and I got my JavaScript file open, the app.js. Now basically, I've assigned variables, const keyword. We're going to get into the code right now. You will probably not understand it, but just bear with me. So the code will basically run from the top right here, run right through till the bottom. So it will pass the code from top to bottom. Right. So just remember that. This is just technicalities. So it's just theory at the moment. We're going to get into the practicality and how it works later. But for now, just remember the code get run and pass from the top to the bottom. Right, which brings us to our next topic, interpreted versus compiled code. Interpreted code. In interpreted languages, the code is run from top to bottom, and the result of running the code is immediately returned. You don't have to transform the code into different form before the browser runs it. In compiled code, compiled language are transformed, meaning compiled, into another form before they are run by the computer. For example, C++ code are basically compiled into machine code that will be run on the computer. Now with JavaScript on the other hand, it is a lightweight interpreted code, programming language. The web browser receives the JavaScript code in its original text form and run the script from that. Technically, the modern day JavaScript interpreters actually use a technique called just-in-time compiling to improve the JavaScript. So that basically improves the performance and the code runs quicker. Okay. So basically JavaScript gets compiled, but not really technically. It's just in time compiling to compile the code just to make the browser, the code load faster and improves performance on your website. That is a very good thing. All right, so the next thing we're going to discuss is server-side versus client-side code. So if you guys want to make just pause the screen and pause the video, and you can basically just write this down so for your own reference. Server-side versus client-side code. Server-side code, the server-side code is run on the server, then its results are downloaded and displayed in the browser. Okay. Remove the typo. Examples of server-side languages, it's PHP, Python, Ruby, ASP.NET, JavaScript, of course, with Node.js. So this one we're going to probably learn a little bit later, because after the Vue.js and the React course, I'm thinking of doing PHP first, then Laravel, then Livewire, and then Node.js. That's the trend that I'm going to follow. The next thing that we're going to do is client-side. Client-side code is the code that runs on the user's computer. When a web page is viewed, the page's client code is downloaded, then runs and is displayed by the browser. Examples of client-side languages is JavaScript. Woo, awesome. Awesome stuff. All right. So the next thing that we're going to learn is dynamic versus static code. So basically, if you have a website with HTML and CSS, nothing happens there. Okay, let me actually type it out for you guys as well so that you guys can have it. Just pause the video and just write it down, make a note, or type it out in a folder or something so that you can, wow, look at my spelling there. Woo. Please don't spell like that. That's a little bit better. Okay, so just type it out or write it down and pause the video right here. Okay, so the next thing is dynamic versus static. I'm just going to type it out quickly. So if there's spelling mistakes, just ignore that. Just continue. Right, dynamic versus static code. Dynamic. The word dynamic is used to describe both client-side JavaScript and server-side languages. It refers to the ability to update the display of the web page or app to show different things in the different circumstances, generating new content on the server, pulling data from the database, whereas JavaScript dynamically generates new content inside the browser on the client, creating a new HTML element filling it with data, requesting from the server, then displaying the web page shown to the user. Normally in dynamic circumstances, dynamic code, JavaScript and server-side code, basically they communicate normally with each other. If JavaScript dynamically updates content from the server-side language, like let's say for instance PHP, will send code to JavaScript, and JavaScript will update the web, basically your DOM. Now, normally you do AJAX requests to the server and stuff like that with APIs, but we will get into that a little bit later. Static code, basically a web page with no dynamically updating content, is referred to static. It's shown the same content all the time. Now, an example of that is basically if you've got a HTML and CSS website, basically everything is designed as is, nothing changes, basically it's static, just like it is, unless you obviously manually change the headings or paragraphs and content like that. But it's not dynamic, but it can change automatically or some things like that. All right, so the next thing that we're going to discuss, right, I was thinking of how to add JavaScript to your page, but I'm seeing the video might get a bit too long. So I'm going to do that in the next video, where we're going to add some JavaScript to our HTML and explain the process between internal and external JavaScript and a modern way of adding JavaScript and the async and defer methods and stuff like that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Like the video if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't, and provide me some with positive feedback if you think I can improve the video. I think I can maybe improve the video. And yes, would really appreciate it if you like it and comment on it. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.